Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the topic exception handling in C++. Here we are going to explain about the three blocks: try block, throw block, and catch block. First, what is an exception handling? What is the word meaning the exception? Exception means error. Suppose in our program we consists of the coding with some errors. So those errors are handled here. Exception maybe we are in this we are going to see about exception types. How many types errors are going to be occur? How we are going to handle the exception? Everything we are going to see. Normally, there are three types of errors. One will be syntax error, logical error, and runtime error. Syntax error are handled by who does not knows about the program, who does not knows about the languages. Those errors are an syntax error. Suppose if the programmer knows C language, C++, whatever it is programming language well known, it does not make the syntax error. The person who does not knows about the languages makes the syntax error. Next about logical error. Who all make the logical error? That is does not knows about the problem logic. If we don't know about the problem logic, sure we will leave the logical error. Then runtime error. These errors are handled when, that is during the runtime. We will write the program. Some errors are handled during the runtime by disk problem, network problem. So these are known as a runtime error. So like this we are going to see more. In exception handling, exceptions are runtime anomalous or abnormal conditions that a program encounters during its execution. That is anomalous, abnormal condition. That is, these conditions are cannot be handled. So those are known as an exception. Next, the process of handling these types of anomalous or abnormal conditions that cannot be handled. Here we are handling by using the exception handling. Using the exception handling mechanism, the control from one part of the program where the exception occurred can be transferred to the another part of the code. So here some abnormal condition cannot be handled by normal concept in inheritance. We have many concept in C++, but only by using this exception handling mechanism we can solve this condition, abnormal condition. How we are going to control? That is, one part of the program will contains the exception, so it is transferred to the another part of the code. So like this only we are going to handle the exception. This. Now what is in C++ exception? This is an exception is an unexpected problem that arises during the execution of program. Our program terminates suddenly with some error issues. So without exception handling, what we will do? Some disk problem or network problem, or it will be while going the runtime the errors during that output it will be go on. What we will do, we will switch off the systems or restart the systems. Like this only we will have. This is an unexpected problem. That is program will be error free code. That is no errors will be there. But due to some system problem, we will be handling this unexpected problem issues. So suddenly, what we will do, just we will terminate the program. Exception occurs during the runtime of the program, running the program, runtime program. There is some types of C++ exception. That is general types: synchronize and asynchronous. Synchronize means what? That is something wrong while we are doing, like these syntax error, logical error. That is, these are while giving input we are handling some errors. These errors are known as synchronized, that can be solved easily. But asynchronized will be like disk failure, keyboard interrupts. That is an by network problem, network failure, and natural disasters. These errors are handled by these types of errors are asynchronized. So synchronize exception that happens when something goes wrong because of the mistake in input data. While we are going to give the input data, that it will be of syntax or logical errors, or when a program is not equipped to handle the current type of data is not working. So such as dividing by zero. Dividing by zero is an infinitive, but when we giving the programs, it has no solutions. So these types of errors are unsynchronized errors, asynchronized errors. So this is an abnormal, unexpected condition, exceptions that are beyond the program control, such as disk failure, keyboard interest, natural disasters. These types of error, disk failure when it will comes because of system, and some if you are giving the arrays out of bounds, there will be the upper limit and memory space. So these all will be an asynchronized exception. Next, how to handle these exception? How we are going to be handle this? How we are going to solve the problems? Exception handling is a process to handle the runtime errors. So that is while running the program, we are handling this exception. So by exception handling only, we are going to solve these errors. We perform exception handling so the normal code application can be maintained even if an error. So exceptions is going to be handled by some abnormal condition or unexpected situation. So that also by using exception handling, we are going to the flow without affecting the flow of program, flow of application. Normal flow is going to be happen during the runtime errors. Next exception is an event or object which is thrown at the runtime. What is an event or object? Event means something is going to be happened. That is, if you are going to be a press and key in the keyboard, that is also mean by an event. If you are going to select an object, that is also considered. So exception can be an event or it can be treated as an object. All exceptions are derived from exception class. It is the runtime error which can be handled. If we don't handle the exception, it prints exception message and terminates the program. This is how we are going to handle that abnormal, unexpected. We are going to simply give one message without terminating. This is some examples of exception. Divide by zero, accessing arrays length element beyond its limit, handing out of memory space. So divide by zero is like 4 by 0, 5 by 0. So it gives an infinite value. So this automatically will be exception. Array while declaring the array, we will be given only as an A of 10. So memory space will be allotted for the array elements for only 10 spaces. But while we entering the input, if we give the beyond the array limit, poses an exception and running out of memory. It will be memory of some particular GB or NP. But if you are giving the input as an out of memory, those are the exception. Then exception handling mechanism constant. How it is going to be work? First, it will find the program. After finding the problem that hit the exception, after that it will inform that the problem by the through the exception by the program. Inform about its occurrence through the exception. It is going to receive error information in the catch block. Take proper action. This is a handle the exception. So we are identifying the errors in try block and we are throwing the errors by the throw block. After that, we are catching the errors by using the catch block and we are handling the exception in the handle exception handling block. So this will be a short problem occurs, create exception, throw exception, handle exception. So first problem occurs in try block. We are going to be identify the problem, then we are going to be create exception. That is exception types many may have. That is arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, and like this we have many exception types. So we have to throw the exception by identifying its types. After that we have to handle the exception. Here same thing, exception handling, check the exception, uncheck the exception, error. So these are going to be, we have to, what is the exception we have to check, some unchecked exception will be identifying the types of the exception that we are finding. It can be handled by the three ways. What all it is? try block, catch block, and the throw block. In try block, what we are going to do is finding the errors and throwing errors, and in catch block it is going to be catched. The try keyword represents a block of code that may throw an exception placed inside the code. So in try block, what will be the set of statements, set of coding that is handling the errors. So what are the statement in the try block? It will be contain the errors, and one statement it will throw the exception. Next in catch block. So what is thrown by the try block? It is going to be catch those errors in the catch blocks. So number of catch blocks can be done. The catch statement represents a block of code that is executed when the particular exception is thrown by the try block. So that is many types of exceptions are there, which I already told it as suppose if it is an arithmetic error by using the arithmetic operators, so those exceptions are thrown by the types arithmetic exception. In array index of counts, it will be suppose in out of limit if we are giving it will mention the types array index of count. Suppose in the it is in memory, out of memory. So it throws the exception by its types. Those exceptions are cached in the catch block. Then throw. What is the problem is detected? It is mentioned in the. This is the syntax of try class. Try code that may throw an exception, throw some exception types per message. This is an try block. So what will be? It will be having some programming code that will throw an exception, and some exception types will be mentioned. That is, I already told arithmetic array index of out of memory like this. Then catch exception name, and this is an object E1. Exception name, arithmetic exception name like this. Catch block catches the exception that is thrown from the try block. So one simple diagrammatic. So in try block detects and throws an exception by using exception object handling in the catch block catches and handles the exception. This is a simple program to explain about the exception handling. First is an header file, then main program. In try, we are declaring two variables, that is one variable as an 10 and another is an 0. In result, what we are going to do, if denominator equal to 0, throw the runtime error division by 0. Division by 0 is not allowed. So this one we are going to be next catch results in then result is equal to numerator by denominator, and that is simply a by b. So a by b, what it does, a by b means 10 by 0. So in normal conditions, what will be the system do? It will go to be infinitive, and some unexpected problem will be arise, that is abnormal situation. But here what we are doing is in catch block we are handling those exceptions. Constant exceptions ambassador E, we are doing this. So what we are going to do is printing one statement as C out exception, like this we are going to be print out. So in this block, what will result after division, what will be written, it is still doing. So here it is an division by 0, so it is going to be negative. So what will be the output for this exception division by 0? It is not allowed. This is we are going to be throwing the catch.